right, good morning. This is Daddy Day Trader with the Accountability Series Day 14. And today was a decent day. I think I got a little outside my trade book on one stock, and I definitely missed an entry on a break of VWAP on another stock that went up quite a bit. So we are, however, green on the day by 22 cents. So that is a win in my book. So let's review the trades real quick I took today. Maybe just go through kind of where I might have went outside my trade book, a smidge. And then also I did include a recap of MSAI, which went from about $6 when I was looking at it all the way up to $12? No, $14. So that's my biggest flub today, was not hitting that entry point when it broke VWAP at around $6.16 this morning at like 6:40. But I have a recap of that, so stay tuned for that. So this morning at about 5:49, I was trading PRZO, which was a leading gapper today. Not the top one, but it was showing some strength through VWAP. And it had been a previous runner, so on that one I got in at 5:49, and it went up a decent amount. Again, I don't have my stops in place, so I was able to get out of that one 15 cents total on that trade. So I was green 15 cents. And I didn't take another trade until 7:18. Things were kind of just moving a little slow, and my setup wasn't there for most things, but HOOK had kind of been dancing around VWAP all morning, and it was a leading gapper. It's up 80% right now, but it was kind of a little whippy. But I did take a break of VWAP at 7:18, and for some reason on that one I got immediately stopped out. I think maybe it flashed down and triggered my stop loss, but I still had 10 shares, so it was kind of weird. So then I traded ANNX as it was breaking through VWAP at $3.83. Again, sort of a weak break, didn't hold up. So that one stopped me out, lost 21 cents on that one. And then Hook started showing life again at around 7:26. So it broke back through VWAP, and I had set up some resistance lines to kind of say like, okay, if it breaks through these lines, it's going to go up. So this is where I think I got a little outside my trade book, was setting up these resistance lines, and they're a little too far away from VWAP entry. So my resistance lines were like 103, 104, 108, and so this one was going up nicely at 7:28, 7:26, so I bought in and then got stopped out pretty quickly, but it wasn't a terrible stop out. Sometimes when it stops it out, it'll get you out kind of where you got in. So that was that break-even trade. And then it was continuing to show strength, so I wanted to get back in. Now granted, we are a little too far away from VWAP, so this is where I should have just stopped. So I took another trade at 108, $1.08, and that one actually went up to 111. It triggered my first profit target. So then I set my profit target to break even, and then my resets of my profit targets. It didn't. So then it went down and hit my my break even point. So that one I actually did okay on, but it wasn't super clean and it didn't go up very far. But I did get my first profit target, and I did set my thing to break even. So that was a positive trade. and then ended up being up on hook after those 2 red trades and 1 green trade, 28 cents. So ending the day overall with a plus 22 cents, but sort of like, again, a green day is awesome, super happy about that. I'm a little disappointed in my trades of HOOK and how far away from VWAP I decided to trade those. So that's something that I need to keep in mind and not do, because it's not my style, and that's how I get burned. So I need to take that in consideration, and hopefully talking about it here will help me with that. So it's about 8:20 right now. Nothing else is really looking that great. Stay tuned for that recap on MSAI. That would have been a good trade, but I missed it. I went back and I reviewed it, and it was jumping around quite a bit as it was going through VWAP, but I think had I bought in at the right time, I would have had a successful trade. There is a chance that if I had bought in at the ask, there was a time when the bid and the ask were pretty far apart, the spreads were pretty far apart, so I could have got stopped out before it ran. I don't know, but take a look at that particular recap I have at the end of this video, because it was interesting. So today I felt pretty good. A lot of like fake breakouts of VWAP. There's a stock there's DMK, which just had a ton of false breakouts. So after you see like 10 or 12 false breakouts, you're kind of like, I've starting to get conditioned that the next one's going to be a false breakout, so you get a little jaded on the market, and that doesn't obviously present itself for good trading. So I'm happy to be green, 22 cents. Let me take a look at my day's green here, which is pretty nifty. I struggled quite a bit in November, and then December I have also struggled, but with these videos it's been a lot better, and it's changed up how I'm trading. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green days in a row, and that is awesome. So if I have, let's see, if I have another green day tomorrow, Friday, maybe what I'm going to do is, when we come back on Tuesday after Christmas, is change my $50 purchase of stock to $75, because I think that, if I can have 6 green days in a row, maybe it's time to step up my share size, start growing it, and then we can always put it back down again if I have 2 red days or something like that. So still not hitting my $2 goal, but I want to continue to stay green, and I don't want to go from green to red on a bad setup that's later in the day when volume's down. So I'm going to stop today and acknowledge that I did some things poorly today. On MSAI, I wasn't quite ready to take the trade. I was looking around, checking my setup, and that one jumped super quick. It went from like 580 to 616 in like a second, so that was a challenge to even get in at the right time. But I didn't have my finger on the button, even though I had the stock on my main chart and I was watching it, but then I was like looking around, making sure everything was set up, so I missed it on that one, and that would have been a good one. So again, opportunities are there. That one went from $6 to $14 in 15-20 minutes. I'm right there. I'm looking at the stocks as they're going up, and I'm about to trade them. So it's a little discouraging, but it's also encouraging at the same time, because in the past I wouldn't even been looking at that stock. I wouldn't have been ready to trade it, and I wouldn't have even done it. And maybe I would have got in at $14 instead of $6, and then I would have got a flush down to, it's at $7 right now. So my trading is definitely evolving, and it's getting better, and I'm not taking those risky trades as things are like at their top. But still, 22 cents is not a lot, and I really want it to be more than that. So I just have to keep trying. keep working on my setup, stay in my trade book. Like I said today, I got a little outside of it, but we're going to be working on that. And again, stay tuned for MSAI recap real quick. You can see how that one just went crazy and halted up. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for Friday trading, and we're gonna hopefully have another green day like today, and I'm excited. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for that recap. This has been a Daddy Day Trader Accountability Series Day 14. All right, guys, take care. At the time, so we got MSAI coming up with some decently stable candles. Let's see if we can get above 6. And then if it can, maybe above UAP. We'll see. Oh, there it goes. Can it hold? Missed that one. Wow. Wasn't even looking at the... Darn it. Oh, man. Okay, well, that's okay. That moved a little quicker than I expected. Now it's halted up, showing a 675 resumption. So that would have been a 10% trade right there. Okay, the resumption's coming down. That was a perfect trade, so